The Boy and the Heron. You know,
You thought it was heroin,
I
didn't
thought
you?
it was heroin, man. I thought they were saying it like they say it in Louisiana. The Boy and the Heron. I thought
Miyazaki's going in a bold new direction
boy.
with this one.
See, Miyazaki's in the trap right now.
Well, they said this one is partially autobiographical. So.
Okay. Well, I would believe it because you have to be a heron to be thinking of some of the stuff that he's thinking of right now. Actually, The Boy and the Heron would explain a lot if that boy was Miyazaki. Because look at this, man.
I know. Once you get somebody having frogs crawling on them, it's like, this is LSD.
Yeah. Double Toasted Live in Los Angeles is going to be Saturday, April 27th for a night of comedy games and that after party. I didn't want to say nothing, but years after watching Miyazaki movies, Hayao Miyazaki movies, they've been getting crazier and crazier. And that's what I said, this man, he's on some shit. Everybody think he's a genius. No, he's a drug addict. he's a junkie. And everybody getting mad. Don't you insult him like that. That man he's a genius. He's an artist. That's like, look, yeah, I think he's on drugs too. I mean, y'all seen these movies, man. It's his world.
It is his world. It is his world. I think there's plenty of them that make sense to everybody. But there's plenty also where it's like, it makes sense, and then some stuff is happening, and you're like, all right, I guess you know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm just going to roll with it.
See, that's the thing. See, Martin, he's got you. You think it makes sense. It don't make no sense. You just kind of made your own sense with it.
Yeah, maybe so. I make peace with it.
Yeah. No, but you know what? Listen, I love Miyazaki, man. I've seen all his movies. Definitely, I mean, as an animator, he's definitely one of my favorite filmmakers out there. And it is always an event when he releases a movie. And with The Boy and the Heron, we're on his second last movie. Because the last movie was supposed to be his last movie.
I know.
This was supposed to be his last movie.
I know, he keeps coming out of retirement.
Yeah. And he even said, this is my last movie while I work on my next one. Because people say he's working on the next one.
Yeah. Even he's like, yeah, I know it's embarrassing to say you're going to retire and not actually do it. But fuck, I'm doing it, so.
But I can't get off this shit. The Heron.
Well, I guess, like I was saying the other day, man, you know, he retired and was going to let his son finally do one. His son did one and went, God damn it. All right, I guess I got to come back.
Move, boy.
Yeah.
His movies are often called meditations, reflections on some crazy shit. So, and as you can see, you know, this one is out there. You have a boy named what's his boy's name? Moitao.
Something like that. It's spelled one way but pronounced a different way.
Yeah. Anyway, the
Moshita?
the Mojito.
Okay.
Mojito.
Mojito?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Nah, the boy in the title.
Yeah.
The boy in the title here. He's he's living a point in his life where things are a little rough, and there's a lot of things adding to that. He is adjusting to a new life. His father has remarried. The woman that he's remarried to is pregnant, so he's gonna get a little half brother or sister.
And she looks like his mom.
And looks like his mom.
Died,
so his father had a type, which is just weird for the son. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing that's really bothering him the most, is that his mom died in a terrible accident. And so he's having to adjust to a lot. So the day a bird starts talking to him at his window, he's like, man, I don't need this shit. He even tries to kill that bird, like, man, I don't need this right now. But this bird, the heron, which I did not know what a heron was until, you know, the movie came out. I don't know why. But this heron right here tells him that, hey, listen, you know, if you stop trying to kill me, I might have some good news for you. Your mother is actually alive. Now, how and where? You're just going to have to trust me. And since this is a Miyazaki movie, where she is and how she's alive, the explanation is probably crazier than I can show you. I can tell you.
You go into a fantastic world full of creatures you've never seen before. So you just strap in.
Oh yeah, the bird is like, listen, I can't explain this crazy shit. You're just gonna have to come with me. I mean, I'm a bird talking, I can't even believe it. So yeah, they come with me and all shall be revealed. And a lot of people are calling this another Miyazaki masterpiece. How do we feel about this? Well, let's go ahead and watch the trailer, which is in English, even though we saw the Japanese version. Yeah. And, they usually release the movies dubbed and also with subtitles. I just, for the sake of, just playing the trailer, I got the English version. And we'll watch it, and then we'll come back to let you know how we feel. Another masterpiece or not? We'll see.
Mahito.
There you go, Mahito.
Yeah.
So, there's more work to be done.
If anybody has ever seen a Miyazaki movie, or I should say Miyazaki movies, because you can't go by just one, because sometimes they're not following the same, aesthetic or the same ideas that a lot of his movies follow. Like the last movie that he did was very much based in reality. Mm-hmm. That was the one about the guy who made planes.
Yeah, I had a mini argument with one of the theater workers about this. He came out, he's like, cool, another Miyazaki movie about saving the environment, huh? I was like, what are you talking about? That's not what they all are.
Well, I mean, but he's not wrong. It is another one, because a lot of them deal with that theme.
No, not as many as you think.
Oh yeah, a lot. I mean, I could go. A lot of them deal with like either the environment or saving the world and the environment within that world. Like Nausicaa of the Wind, Spirited Away. What do you call it?
But Porco Rosso's not about that.
No, it's not.
And Castle in the Sky, or Lupin the Third.
I don't think he was saying that.
No, he was saying all of them.
Oh no, not all of them, but he does a lot. That theme goes in his movies a lot.
I know it pops up.
Princess Mononoke was one.
Yeah, definitely Princess Mononoke and Nausicaa. But he was saying like it's every one of them, and it was like
it's not. No, it's not. Kiki's Delivery Service and all that. No, he's wrong about every one of them, but a lot of them do. And this is returning to probably that theme of the environment and a child at a point in his life where her life or whatever the character is at the moment, having a big turning point in that world that they're going into, this fantastic world reflecting that. Thing, if you've seen a Miyazaki movie or several Miyazaki movies, thing that they do have in common, a lot of them, I would say the majority of them, is that the movies never rush to tell their stories. Mm-hmm. If you watch a Miyazaki movie, like seriously, it's all about setting up the character, and then once you start to get to know the character, then that's when we start to ease into the story. And especially if it's a child discovering a fantasy world. Yeah. We spend a whole lot of time with that child, and either the family has moved or the child is going through something, or they're just on a road to discovery. They're just being an inquisitive child. And you know what? I appreciate that, and I think that's one of the biggest things that is the success to Miyazaki movies is the way he sets up his story. He's not in a rush to do it at all. And especially watching these movies, because it's a great way to ease you into this world. And I appreciate it because it's so much the opposite of watching Western animation. Mm-hmm. When you watch Western animation, I mean, it's not even a criticism for everything, but really the way we tell stories is frantic, is loud, is fast paced. Again, I'm saying that I'm not trying to say that's a bad thing for every movie. Some of it is, some of it's not. But like, Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse. But Across the Spider-Verse is definitely one of my favorite movies this year. And it's very frantic, loud. It's overload. Mm-hmm. So after watching, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but after watching how we do animation here and how we tell our stories, it's very nice to see animation where they have a story that takes its time with character and then goes into setting up its world. Things are very slow right here, man, because the character of Mahito, the character is very quiet, and for a young boy, he's very serious. He's not like the little girls from My Neighbor Totoro or little like Spirited Away, mm-hmm. where they're just cute, man. Yeah, they're very charming because again they are very curious and they're very funny. Mm-hmm. Mojito, like ain't shit funny with me.
And it's really not.
No, it's not.
Mean, we open with his mom burning to death. And then, okay, well, now we move it to the country. This your new mom. Deal with it.
Yeah, no, he's going through it, man. And then mom died. He's, like I told you, he remarried. His dad remarried to another woman that looks like his mom. When he's like this here, dad. He took him out to the country. They moved from Tokyo. And so, and even at the first day of school, man, for this kid, it's a good thing this kid has found some magical world to go to, because the real world ain't treating his ass nice at all.
At all.
Like the first day of school, he ain't done anything, just walked into class and kids already said, I don't like you. One kid just giving him the screw face. Just like, who f- you? It's like, man, I just got here. Like, what's your problem, man? But what I liked about him is that he's not bratty about it. He just keeps to himself. And he even said, I'll even say the bully sometime. I just kick my own ass. I ain't gonna tell you what happened, but he beat the shit out of somebody. He was saying, but he just don't want to deal with anybody.
Honestly, with how fantastic this gets, it made me wonder, like, maybe that conk on the head just made all this happen.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, exactly. None of this is real. He's tripping.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. But, I'm telling you this because I would say that I do appreciate it. I just told you that. But at some points, it was a little too slow for me. And I do want to be careful how I say that, because, as I said, first of all, you don't want to criticize Miyazaki. He's reached a level now where when he takes a shit, it's a masterpiece. So deep. The nuances, and I'm not even saying that to be mean, man. It's just, whatever he puts out there, a lot of people, they love it. You don't dare criticize it. But second, I don't want to seem like a dumb American with no patience, because I do very much appreciate the pace. But, and I love this approach. It effectively sets up the emotional state of the character of Miyato. But it's a section that can just be trimmed, was what I was thinking, and because this is 2 hours, maybe just a couple of minutes over. And in the beginning, maybe I was just tired because I was fighting drowsiness. I was fighting drowsiness bad until it just got me in a headlock, and I just went out, and then and then you got to feel that dreaded arm on you, because I fought it, man, to not fall asleep. Because first of all, like I said, this is a Miyazaki movie. Don't you dare sleep on this.
Right.
And
that's the only reason I was elbowing you, because I was like, okay, he's starting to snore. I get it.
Yeah, and Martin elbowed me, and then I looked up, and Martin was even giving me that look. Like, what the fuck?
It's like, because you looked at me like, what I do?
Well, I was just waking up like, where am I? And I look at the screen and I see, this crazy shit. I'm like, what's going on? You were pulled into his flow of consciousness, as we were talking about it. We were making drug jokes and whatnot. But this, I would say, the slow pace, while it wasn't working for me in the beginning, as I just explained, this is where the slow pace, I think, actually works, is when you were pulled into, just like I said, his mind, his world building that he does right here. This movie is weird. It is crazy. And it was probably a little too frightening for little kids. It's PG-13. So I think that PG, there's no nudity or anything, a lot of death or anything like that. But there's a lot of just weird stuff that goes on, and a lot of themes that are kind of adult, like death, harsh realities of life, of nature, that, little kids might not be ready for. But older children might be, because that's the theme of this kid right here. It's like he's right at this point right now, he's having to face, he's at the age now where he's realizing, like, life is hard. Yeah. And life is ugly, and life is pretty crazy right now with what I'm going through. But, this movie is probably one of his weirdest, Miyazaki's. And, but things move so gradually that it gives you time to process this weird world that he's putting you in, to the point where you don't question it, man. You accept it, and to a certain extent, you even justify it, because there are certain things that are happening in this movie. Like, there's a parakeet that shows up with a butcher knife, and at this point, you were so just steeped in this world and used to it that you make sense of it. You're like, Well, of course this parakeet has a butcher knife. How do you expect him to chop up and cook this kid without it? You know what I mean? Don't be stupid.
Well, it does. It's able to take what we normally see as harmless animals and make them very threatening.
Oh yeah.
So it throws you off kilter.
Oh yeah. No. I don't know, man. And like I said, a lot of people looking at this and they're saying, you know, I'm saying it's too slow. And I've heard some people say it is a little too slow, but then some other people are saying, no, it's just right. As I was saying, another masterpiece. How do you feel about it?
Well, I agree with you and I disagree with you. And I agree with you about it being a little too slow, you know, and especially at 2 hours. And it's, I mean, it's good about making some statements, but it's also nebulous about them. Where I disagree with you is that it was the front half that I didn't mind, because it was a lot of there was just a lot of setting up the characters. It could have been trimmed to get us to the other stuff earlier, but we spent so much time with that I was fine with it. When we get to all the fantastic elements, that world with all that, all that's cool. But I thought that kind of plotted, and mostly because it's his stream of consciousness, but it felt like a stream that wasn't streaming. It was just, it was like, well, then this, and then this, and then this. And sometimes with somebody's stream of consciousness, you can still find the logic thread that and you pull yourself along with it. And this one, I felt, because of the pacing, like that kept getting broken. So rather than feeling like when something would happen and I would feel like, oh yeah, of course this, and of course that, it was like, well, okay, now there's this. Well, now there's that. Well, I guess I just got to watch whatever happens.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I'm a part of it. I feel like I'm just kind of watching it.
You know, it's interesting because I guess it depends on, you know, it's cool that we had this opinion right here. Like you see it that way, because I think that's what's going to probably make it for some people, you know, because for me, the thing that you're talking about, I kind of like just being, you know, it's truly magical for me to be in this movie and just to be immersed in the world with no explanation. You know, and that's what happened. That's what's happening with a lot of Miyazaki movies when they just really go, you know, way off the deep end sometimes. Sure. And that's the reason. I think that's the reason why a lot of people accept it, because it is so slow that you just are slowly immersed into this. And like I said, man, you know, for me to be fully immersed is like to just lead me to it. Let me make sense out of it. Let me be, you know, I don't need any tour guide with this film right here. Just let me, you know, don't explain shit to me. If we move at a gradual pace, everything might not make sense to me, but I will acclimate myself to things right here.
Yeah, I didn't need it explained. As a matter of fact, I've seen a bunch of movies lately where things weren't explained, and then once they were, it made them not as good. Yeah. So I'm okay with it not being explained. I guess maybe I just needed it to move quicker when it got to that part. Because when you get there, things are happening, but it felt like, okay, this is where the pace picks up. Yeah. And it kind of didn't, at least enough for me.
Yeah, it's like, well, as you can see, people, we both have a problem with the pacing of the movie. I think that's one of the biggest problems with it. And at some point, at least it seemed like it's just slow, whether it's at the beginning of the second half. But, you know, thing with me, man, I think really what makes me accept the craziest parts of a Miyazaki movie, and I don't want to sound like some, you know, pretentious critic or anything, because I do have, you know, I have some problems with the movie. Even to the point where this, you know, I agree with you that things are just happening now. You know, none of these things are really tying together. Yeah. You know, like I said, you know, when birds show up with knives and ready to eat people, you know, it's like, all right, that just came out of nowhere. But I think with me is that no matter how crazy it gets, there's an honesty behind what he's doing.
Yes, there is.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you get a movie studio that gets weird like this, they're usually doing it for a laugh or they're doing it for a thrill. You know, with Miyazaki, man, I think people are so quick to throw masterpiece at his works because every one of them is a labor of love.
Yeah, he's not bought and sold by the studio. No. There's nobody saying we got to push these toys. There's nobody behind him doing this, or hey, it'd be real cool if you could put this in. It's a labor of love. It's one man doing his thing. And you know, I might complain about some of that stuff in the fantasy world, but all of it just tied in with how the whole story on the whole. I don't understand it all, but it felt very personal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I know, you know, it said that, you know, he came back because parts of the story are autobiographical. But just as a whole, just when you're in this world, it's like I can't quite find the metaphor, but I can feel it's there.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, man. When I feel like, listen, you can go all up in your ass if you want to, as long as I feel like it's honest. And I think when I feel like there's an honesty there, when I feel like there is love behind whatever you're doing, it might not make sense all the time, but I'm ready to take that journey, man, if you're honest with me, I feel like it's making sense to him.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to accept that. Even if I just look at it and it's just like this dude's just having a weird ass dream. Right. A bird was talking to me. That's why I look at it. Just like it's a Miyazaki just putting his weird ass dream out there because animation allows us to go that far with it. I mean, look at this right here. I know. A bird talked to me and grew some teeth and a nose. And man, this is a personal thing. Mojito does not have that same appeal, as I said earlier, as some of his more lighthearted characters. And a lot of those, again, are girls, man, but I do like the situation that he's in. It was really cool to see him just take a mature approach to everything that's happening. Like I said, he never complains, man. He's ready to get things done. When something happens, he's just like, all right, I'm down to to work with it.
Yeah.
I'll get through it. I'll face it. And I like the character because of that. He doesn't make me laugh, but I have an admiration for him. He's a kid now seeing the darker side of life, and he's accepting it. And I can, even though I can tell, he's like, a lot of times he's like, this is awesome. This is cool. And a lot of times he's like, I really don't feel like dealing with this shit right now. Speaking of Dark World, like I said, man, this movie's PG-13. And I truly believe like there's a lot of imagery in there that is not really cool for little kids because it freaked me out. Because when that bird came up and started going to teeth, we were like, yeah.
Well, it's the kind of thing that people nowadays protect their kids from. But we grew up where nobody protected us for nothing. We saw creepy animation like this, and I don't think we suffered for it.
No, I'm just saying, if you have a little bitch ass kid, you might. I'm warning they ass gonna look at that bird like. I'm just saying.
They might be crawling in the bed with you later in the week.
Man, that bird with teeth showed up. No, he didn't. Yeah, I'm just some kids. I'm talking about small kids.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will see this and they'll see G kids at the beginning of this and not realize
G kids.
Yeah, it says G kids, but it's a PG-13 movie. So if you're bringing like a 7 or 5 or 6-year-old to this movie, they're going to be prone to probably be frightened of some of this stuff. Plus, there's just scenes in there that, this is disturbing even for adults to see. There's animals that are in pain that beg to die,
Oh, yeah.
There's a nightmarish way that they just show the chaos of the accident that killed his mother. Everything is done in these really weird squiggly lines. And it looks like a nightmare. So weird transformations with characters. So
it's like this whole movie is just a nightmare. His nightmare.
It really is. And so, like I said, it might not be appropriate for little kids, man, to see this. And like I said, be prepared for even some of your older kids, like 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, to ask questions or be very sad about some of the stuff that they see, or ask you questions about it. So yeah, man. Of course, the animation's amazing. Listen, that goes without saying.
Yeah, well, just for anybody who hasn't seen many of his movies, or go like, well, man, he's at the point of retirement. He hasn't lost a step.
No, this man is 80 years old. He might be over 80, and he, still on top of his game. I would say that, man. Another thing I would complain about with this is that, there are some themes that we see all the time in his movies. That I would say are kind of typical now. He's done them over and over again, and maybe that's just his thing. That's what people say an auteur does. The environmental themes this is another movie where they do that. There's another movie where you have like some in this world a heroic figure or some all powerful being that's helping the world. Also, little ass creatures, man. There's always,
Yeah.
you know, when you go to this fantastical world, there's always some little creatures coming, you know, and they're always cute, but they're always pouring out of cracks and crevices and whatnot. So if you are down with that and that's what you love about a Miyazaki movie and you like seeing those themes repeated, then it's like, cool, you know, this is going to be for you. If you're somebody like your friend who's like, man, it's the same old shit, and you know, that's...
It wasn't my friend.
Okay,
just
okay.
an usher.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're a person that says, you know, I've seen this over and over again and I've never really liked that, it didn't appeal to me, well, just keep in mind that it is repeated here in this movie.
That is actually the element that keeps me from calling this a masterpiece, is that the film, I mean, if you haven't seen very many of his movies or any, then this is brand new for you and that's awesome. But having seen almost all of them, seeing so many of the things repeated makes me, you know, that kind of makes me feel less like a masterpiece.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear exactly what you're saying. I would definitely not say that this is not up there with like Spirited Away or My Neighbor Totoro or even Princess Mononoke or anything. Like, this is not one of his best.
It's not in his top
It's good,
five,
but it's not one of his best. No, I mean, and listen, saying something is good for a Miyazaki movie means it's better than the other bullshit that's out there. So,
I guess you could go watch Wish again.
Yeah, yeah. If you go ahead, you want to talk about going to sleep. So you say, I wish I was watching this movie right here. Everything you're saying about the movie narratively, maybe you and I are not agreeing in the same spots, but we agree at some point in there. And I definitely agree with you. Like, masterpiece, compared to other movies out there, yes, all right, sure. But for a Miyazaki movie, no, it's not one of his masterpieces. It's very good. It's at least not for me. You know, it might be for other people out there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, most people I talked to felt the same way. Yeah,
I you know, truly unique visuals here in addition to just great animation. I mean, the guy has a mind just for, you know, thinking, like I said, if you want to think of somebody as a genius because they think like no other person out there, then yeah, genius. But, you know, there's some truly amazing visuals here, man. And, you know, it shows us the power of 2D animation over 3D animation.
Yes.
I mean, really, man, you know, thank God for the Japanese, man. Anime, even outside of Miyazaki, anime is really showing people that 2D it's not about evolution. 2D is like, okay, you moved on to another form, but 2D is still its own thing. Yeah. It's still a human touch.
And there's just so much you can do with it. It's not limited by things that even 3D is limited by.
Like I said, the animation is what pushed me over, man, because just the technical expertise. I mean, all the details that just go into the animation in addition to some of the incredible visuals that they have here. Narratively, this is a matinee. You know, maybe even a high matinee for the ambition behind, you know, him wanting to tell a story that only he gets, or, you know, a story that is just this out there. But combined with the animation, I mean, I still have to look at what we get from other animated movies out there, and this still stands on its own. This is a low full price for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just about there with you. I think I still come in at a very high matinee, just because of reasons I said. Because like it just not being one of his top tier movies. But man, I was just flooded with like not realizing how much I've missed seeing animation from him and just watching this and like this is the kind of thing you want to see. You know, you hope people with other animators or studios would see it and go like, you know, we should do something more like that. Yeah. But you know, it nails it on so many levels. And if you're a Miyazaki enthusiast, by all means, it's a full price. It's going to give you what you've been dying for. And like I said, it's almost there for me. It's just a hair away. But yeah, I think I ultimately come in at a high matinee.
I've been respectful. I've been kissing this man's ass through this whole review. That first part was killing me. Okay, not to come in and say it. I don't have to be nice no more. That first half was killing me, man. Yeah. You know, and it was painful in a way. What, you know, at some parts where it was just like, I mean, I was like, come on, man. Now you know, listen, you awesome, you're a genius, but you can speak this shit. Come on, man. But yeah, man. And, you know, listen, we're both saying it's good. Yeah. It's funny we're both saying it's good, but I think we both agree. I'm sorry, y'all. I would love to drop the word masterpiece on this. I would, but I just don't.
Yeah, not quite.
It's in the higher middle part of his films. You know, very high in the middle parts of his films. I mean, I still like when I walked out of it, I thought about Spirited Away and just how great that was.
Oh yeah,
and it's just not on that level.
Well, it not only is it not on that level, but there's so much of it that's like Spirited Away.
Yep.
So you can't help but make the comparison. You know,
Yeah.
and so you see so much of Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle, and
Princess Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, man. You're right. You know what? You nailed it because you said that you see those elements in all these other movies, but those other movies, I mean, not to like, I'm not trying to criticize this movie very hard because I do like it, but some of these things that he's repeating, they've been done better.
By him.
Ripping his own self off. We ain't fooling nobody.